The Star Wars franchise has always had a big place in my heart. Been this way since I was 3 years old. My dad introduced it to me. I enjoyed the prequels and the originals, in that order. My dad's incision. He insisted on I seeing them in chronological order. Then Clone Wars came along. I loved that too. I didn't read much comic books, but seeing people talk about them online does that job for me. So I don't need to read them too much, even though I like reading. Then came Rebels, and I enjoyed that too. Bringing back old characters while helping us enjoy new characters as well. Clone Wars had a bit of that, though it mostly had characters we knew. The sequels, when I thought about them after seeing them for the first time, I did not enjoy them. The streaming services and stuff like that, those series, those had their ups and downs. Currently, Ahsoka is doing pretty good. I'm enjoying it. But here's the thing. I'm not talking about how much I love the franchise today. I want to talk about how much I wondered if certain events happened. I wondered if there was a way for me to show how much I love the franchise and show a nice little timeline in which things turned out differently. Like, what if Anakin Skywalker fulfilled his destiny as the Chosen One, helped the Clone Wars end in the Republic's favor, and he never turned to the dark side? And what if there was a way I could bring out certain characters that appeared before the events of the prequels? So I decided something. After spending some time reading fan fictions online and also noticing some fan-written series like Steve the Stormtrooper, Steve the Clone Trooper, blah blah blah, made through Lego sets and voice acting, and sometimes even fanfics that were made through special animation and AI, I decided I'll share my own timeline with everyone. Show how much I love Star Wars, show what I feel like would happen if certain events took place, even create my own characters. And also, this would merely be for entertainment. I'm not making money off of it. But there are some things that I need to tell you about first. Now, there won't be much spoilers for the story, as I want you guys to witness a lot of it. But here, I'll give you a little bit of a synopsis. The story involves around the Starkiller twins, the oldest Kraven and the youngest Luke. I'll be using the Kylo Ren minifigures to symbolize them because I'm a fan of Adam Driver and he deserved a better script when he was doing the sequels. Now, the reason why I'm calling them the Starkiller siblings or Starkiller twins is because I wanted to honor the original character of Luke Starkiller from the original Ralph McQuarrie story. Even though Starkiller was used later on, I wanted this to be a bit of a way to bring the original Luke Starkiller into Star Wars somehow. But Kraven Starkiller is completely created by me, as is their parents. Now, the story for their mother, I want to also tell you this. I was inspired to create the backstory for their mother after witnessing the fan film Darth Maul Apprentice. It's one of my favorite Star Wars fan films, and it was released, I think, in 2016. I'm pretty sure it was 2016. As a way of showing how much I love and appreciate that fan film, I decided to give a backstory to the female Jedi Knight that was in that story, in a way make the story canon in my timeline, but also credit the original people who created it. So you know what I'm trying to say. Now here's a synopsis of how the story is going to go. Their mother's death has a big impact on the twins. Through certain events, Kraven turns to the dark side, becomes Count Dooku's apprentice, and Luke disappears into the galaxy. Through more twists of events, Anakin bests Dooku early and ends up killing him. Ahsoka takes Kraven's blue lightsaber because he's no longer a Jedi and he shouldn't be wielding this weapon now. And Kraven takes Dooku's curve-tilted Sith lightsaber, uses parts of the lightsaber and new parts altogether to create a new lightsaber while using Dooku's bloodified red Sith crystal that was in his lightsaber. The events that happen involving Dooku's death and Kraven taking over as Darth Sidious' apprentice in line of Dooku's death That will all occur after the Season 3 episode Hunt for Zero. So basically everything in the timeline has stayed the same until after the episode Hunt for Zero in Star Wars The Clone Wars. Also, certain events have been erased, which is why I'm going to say that the Starkiller twins were born 21 years before the sacking of Coruscant. In other words, BSC, before sacking Coruscant, before the sacking of Coruscant. So you get what I'm trying to say. Now, the problem I'm running into is this. I'm trying to think of a title for the story. This is a Star Wars story, and I was inspired to create a different kind of title after witnessing the Justice League Flashpoint Paradox film. I really liked that title, Flashpoint Paradox. That was pretty cool. But the problem is that I can't use that title from this timeline, because that would feel like I'm copying, even though this is supposed to be inspired by this title. I've always wondered, would Starpoint work? Would Starpoint Paradox work? Because this timeline involves around the Starkiller twins, so it could be like Starpoint. And I think Paradox would work because the actions of the Starkiller twins result in a paradox, where several events that are supposed to happen are wiped from existence, which is why the Battle of Yavin no longer exists. Now, here's the thing. While looking through the Star Wars Fanon website, and I saw a character written for a certain timeline that was made up by this fan. This character is Thomas Norton. When he caused a series of events to take place after he allowed Admiral Tarkin to be killed during the Citadel story. Whenever I hit a link to a character that is connected to him, either as an enemy or ally, when I see that character's name on their section, in the parentheses it says Power Stark, referring to that timeline. And since certain events have happened, Battle of Yavin has been removed, and instead BBY has been replaced by BBG, before the Battle of Geonosis. And this timeline is referred to as Power Stark, so I've always wondered, would this be the Power Stark timeline or the Power Stark paradox? I'm not sure. But what are your guys' thoughts on all this? Do you think you guys can help me think of a title for the story? Like Starpoint Paradox? What do you guys think? Why don't you guys place your suggestions in the comments, and I'll look through them all, and once I get all the supplies I need with my Legos, I'll start work on them. Well, I'll let you guys know first what I think of the title, and I'll choose one. Unless, of course, you think Starpoint is okay. So, with that, this is Rolling Kane of the Sci-Fi Channel signing off for the day. May the Force be with you, good luck in thinking of titles, and have a great day.